Hi, this is Miss Haney again. So we are going to be writing a function that's going to match the graph below. So I'll walk you through the steps to do that. So the first thing I like to think about is the fact that this is a third degree polynomial, and we know that because whenever it touches and goes back in the other direction, they call this a turning point. I call it a bounce. That means that the function is squared, and then the fact that it goes through here is just an x to the first power. So we know that this really has an x to the third. If you also remember the video of Weird Arms guy that we watched, because they're going in different directions, you know that this exponent must be odd, and 3 is odd. So the first thing that we really need to do is figure out what are the factors. And so we find the factors by thinking about where it touches or crosses the x-axis. So we see that it touches at 2. So we know that x minus 2, remember it's kind of the inverse, you have to flip it. So x minus 2 is going to be a factor, and because that's a bounce there, it's going to be squared. And then it also crosses at 7, so when I write it as a factor, it's going to be x minus 7. So we've got x minus 2 squared and x minus 7. To figure out what the a value is, so there could be a number in front here, and they call that a. We use the fact that we know that it also crosses the y-axis at negative 14. So my function, we'll say, is f of x equals, and then there's something here, that a value. So f of x is another way of saying the y. So when x is 0, our y is negative 14, and we see that over here. It's going by 2, so negative 12, so that would be negative 14. So I'm going to plug negative 14 in here. We're looking to find out what a is, and then when y is negative 14, it's because the x value is 0. So we're plugging in 0 any place we have an x. And then we're just going to solve this. So negative 14 equals a times 0 minus 2 is a negative 2, but a negative 2 squared is going to be a positive 4. 0 minus 7 is going to be negative 7. So now I've got negative 14 equals a times 4 times negative 7 is a negative 28. And to get a by itself, we're going to divide by negative 28. And that gives us a negative divided by a negative is a positive, so that gives us a positive 1/2. So our final answer is going to be f of x equals a positive 1/2 times x minus 2 squared, again because of that bounce, and then x minus 7. Hope that helps. Again, reach out if you have any other questions.